Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making the headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Punch newspaper. The major story here, hunger protest. Military talks tough as pro-Russian rallies spread. Defense headquarters hunts protest sponsors. Governors summon emergency security meetings. Russia disowns protesters. Police arrest over 30. More northern states declare curfew. And the picture story there, it's about protests happening in countries like Bangladesh, the United Kingdom, and Nigeria. And it says protest rocks, Nigeria, Bangladesh, United Kingdom. Federal government asks workers to register for 40,000 naira rise. League of Chiefs murder, DPP indicts police inspector. Riots, Nigeria, Indonesia, Australia warn citizens about travel to UK. Another top corner, why fuel importers will frustrate Dangote, as former President Olusegun Obasanjo speaking. Few queues declare as loading resumes at depots. Blackout as national grid collapses again. Some of the stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper. To the Nigerian News Direct, hashtag end bad governance, flying Russian flag in Nigeria is treasonable. Defense chief to protesters. The rioters there, DSS arrests sponsors of Russian flag for protesters. Police arrest 873 rioters, not protesters, force PRO. As Russia denies involvement in hashtag end bad governance protest. Arewa groups urges Tinubu to relocate Kanu's Digital Innovation Park to Kebbi. And another story here. Again, nationwide blackout as national grid collapses, 7th time in 2024. Now Fund disburses 407.4 million naira stipend to 20,371 students. NCC orders telcos to offer standalone plans, make tariff plans transparent. Some stories on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. To the New Telegraph. Will defend democracy, says Chief of Defense Staff, as Tinubu security chiefs meet over hardship protest. Those flying foreign flags will be arrested. Prosecuted, Musa. DSS police apprehend tailors making flags in Kano, others, as Russian government distances itself from protest. Secret police alleges religious groups infiltrated protest in North. KDSG imposes, that's the Kaduna state government, imposes 24-hour curfew on Kaduna Zaria. Pro-police crackdown on peaceful protesters, pirates tell Tinubu, as AI urges Kano governor to investigate killings. Another story here, Edo Ondo Guba, INEC removes 92,078 new registrants over irregular registration. Arewa political group threatens to occupy INEC offices over LP leadership crisis. And another story here. Study says early menopause could raise breast cancer risk. All right, some stories on the front page of the New Telegraph. To this Nigeria newspaper, as Tinubu meets security chiefs, it's treasonable to hoist foreign flags in Nigeria, defense chief warns. Says army won't allow democracy to be truncated. The SS captures tailors sewing Russian flags in Kano. As police arrest 873 suspects nationwide, Kaduna Bauchi imposes 24-hour curfew. And the picture there is that of a suspected tailor arrested in Kano by security operatives for sewing Russian flags used by protesters. Another story here, Lagos to crack down on unsupervised building projects. And national grid collapse partially, power supply drops by 60.15%. Some stories on the front page of this Nigeria newspaper. To the Daily Trust newspaper, Tinubu orders crackdown on protesters waving Russian flag. It's treason, defense chief warns. With no hand in Nigerian protests, Russia has said. Police arrest producers of flags in Kano, Nasarawa, Demonstrators defy curfew in Plateau, Kano, dance naked in Osun. And another story here. Federal government issues travel advisory to Nigerians visiting UK. And military takes over Bangladeshi Prime Minister flees home country. Some stories on the front page of the Daily Trust. To the Daily Times now. Still talking about the hashtag End Bad Governance protest. The military will defend democracy, not engage in coups. CDS warns protesters, saying flying Russian flag during protest is treason. Police arrest 39 suspects for displaying Russian Chinese flags in Kaduna. And the story here says how intelligence security agencies uncovered plan to hijack protest. That's from the DSS. All right, some stories on the front page of the Daily Times. And to the Blueprint newspaper. As protesters fly Russian flags, military will resist treasonable push to change government. Musa, we don't interfere in domestic affairs of other nations. As the Russian embassy being quoted there. Kaduna imposes curfew as one killed, properties looted. After 15 years in office, Bangladeshi PM Hasina flees. Military takes over, hints on caretaker government. All right, some stories there on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. Theophilus.
So from my end, the Daily Independent is saying, end bad governance. Protesters have crossed the red line, says defense chief. Says democracy must be defended. Regime change unacceptable. Tinubu orders crackdown on bearers of Russian flag. Russia dissociates itself from flag flown during protest. Kaduna government declares curfew amid raging protests. Protests. Don't open today, youth warn business owners in River State. Edo PDP insists on probe of APC Okwebolo over slain police officer. Aviation unions petition Tinubu over grounding of Arik Air Fleet. Says aircraft belong to secured creditors. Court void sale of Nigeria Air to Ethiopian Airlines. Shun Corrupt Act, CJN NJI administrator tell court staff. Salient Times this morning says Russian flags, police arrest 31 producers, distributors in Kano, Kaduna, other states. Russia distances itself from flags flown during protests. Hoisting flags to foreign flags in Nigeria, treasonable offenses. CDS says army won't allow any attempt to topple democratic government. 7 family members hospitalized in Benue after consuming PAP. Nigerians experience blackout as national grid collapses again. UK Prime Minister to hold emergency meeting over far-right riot. This and many more in the Salient Times newspaper this morning. Leadership newspaper says EFCC places local government administrators under watch. Criminals have hijacked hunger protests. Military warns. Declares waving foreign flags treasonable offense. Refutes coup rumors as Russia distances itself from protesters. Kaduna government imposes 24-hour curfew. Oil and gas probe. Reps abandon Ugochinyere Okoje panel. Bangladesh Prime Minister resigns, flees as protesters storm palace. NCC directs telcos on tariff transparency. Bank lending dips as interest rates soars to 60%. Air Nigeria court voids agreement with Ethiopian Airlines. The Nation newspaper. Businesses open in peaceful Lagos. Bank looting in Kaduna. Police protesters battle in Abuja. Curfew in Plateau, Bauchi, Kaduna, Benin peaceful. Flying foreign countries flag treasonable. CDS warns. NTC asks telcos to simplify tariff plans, bundles others. 20,371 students get NEL funds, 20,000 naira each as monthly stipend. Firms to power hospitals with compressed natural gas. Don't spray naira, freed Bobrisky advises Nigerians. Vanguard says Kaduna Zaria boil over 700 billion naira lost in 5 days, says Asbon Katima. Court voids sales of Nigeria Air to Ethiopian Airlines. Federal government warns Nigerians on UK travels as Sturma vows swift sanctions against voters. Igbo must go threat. Southeast Senate caucus waits in. Protest hoisting foreign flag in Nigeria treasonable, says Tinubu. The Guardian says federal government prioritizes National Assembly State House spendings amid MDA's funding crisis. Military vows crackdown over treasonous use of Russian flags at protests. Reps dissolve panel probing allegations of dirty fuel, blame negative media coverage. The Platform Times says Obasanjo warns fuel importers will sabotage Dangote refinery. Oshoba advocates Operation Feed Yourself, blames cabal for failed restructuring. Court holds sale of Nigerian air to Ethiopian Airlines, declares process null and void. Military will not accept calls for coup, affirms defense chief. Kogi officials voluntarily report to EFCC amidst 80 billion naira fraud allegation against ex-governor. Business Day says businesses reopen as states contain simmering protests. Police arrest 873 protesters. Security Council vows to resist push for change of government. Oil deals shrink 7 times on investor apathy. And in Sporting Life this morning, USA star Wilson, the Tigers won't be easy. Summer move, Atalanta may block Lookman's exit. Phillies zooms into women's 200-meter final, run season best time of 22.05 seconds. Uzodinma unveils Amunike as Heartland coach. West Ham completes £27 million Fulcrum deal. This and many more in the Sporting Life newspaper this morning.
Interesting. I believe that our viewers have been updated. And